Hello everyone, I am Mohammad, and I'm taking software requirement from TT3V, and this is my individual presentation, and I will talk about learning from practice. So let's go ahead. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Mohammad. My ID is 11713030020. I am from Syria, but I'm currently living in Kuwait. My university major is software engineering, and I am in the second year, and I am 22 years old. So, what is learning from practice means? Why practice is important? Learning from practice means to learn something by doing that again and again. Practice is the most important ingredient of effective learning. It speeds up the thinking power, learning process, and creativity. Anyone can achieve anything by doing it again and again. Many English stories are there in which authors elaborate that by doing continuous practice, anyone can achieve anything. Also, in the world of science and technology, this thing has also proven in many significant research and case studies. So practice makes perfect. Practice makes a perfect is a proof of which tell us the importance of continuous practice in any subject to learn anything. There is no alternate to the hard work and success. We must have to practice in a particular field in order to achieve something in life. Practice in the field of education. In the track of learning, without practice, many students have no idea whether they are in the first or the last wagon. Without practice, students often are in the dark about how well they are of learning. Sometimes overestimating their comprehension and skills, sometimes understanding them. To achieve good grades, students must keep doing practice in every field. Practice in the field of science. Many scientists are around the world who do significant research and significant tests to prove their hypothesis. If we are looking back in history, many scientists like Richard Ford, Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison, and Robert Boyle, for example, do research again and again to prove other models. They have used multiple research methods to gather data and develop hypotheses. They have many experiments, comparisons, and modeling to prove their hypotheses. And they achieve greater higher of success by practice again and again. Practice in field of technology. Technology has become vast in today's world. Everyone come out with a different app and software. Many programmers are doing research to launch a new app and software. All they need to do is practicing to work on their new project and technologies. By practice more, they will end to launch a new app and software. Many IT professionals and programmers are there who are still practicing on their project to beat other app and softwares. Here is the benefit of practice. Provide ability of thinking to accelerate the speed of thinking, embrace your skill, overcome your weakness, and to help you to achieve goals and enhance your creativity and finally make you an expert in that specific thing. So, what accounts for the difference between expert and amateur performance? According to the new studies, it has been proven that we can achieve anything through practice. Research led by Zach Hamperbeck from Machine State University found that a copy's amount of practice is not enough to explain why people differ in level of skill in two widely studied activities, chess and music. He said that many chess players and musicians have different type of performance due to their different number of performance. While many theorists argue that thousands of hours of focused, deliberate practice is enough to achieve idiot status. So Hampers disagrees. So, Hambrick and colleges analyzed 14 studies of chess players and musicians, looking specifically at how practice was related to difference in their level of performance. So, they found that practice can make them good in skill in both music and chess. After practicing again and again, they felt change in their level of performance. Then, Hamburg said that with continuous practice, you can embrace your skill and abilities. So, in this research analysis, we have learned that how chess players and musicians have achieved to great level of performance by keep practicing. As we all know about a famous proverb that says, practice makes us perfect. That's how, by continuing practice, the musicians and chess players have embraced their skills and abilities. They reach it to the higher level by doing that again and again. Only continuous practice a man can achieve his target and succeed in his particular field. Knowledge is a big thing, but if practice is not done, knowledge cannot take us to our goal. The question is, does practice really make perfect? Researchers have also found it that the way a person practices influences how well a skill is learned. In a 2013 study, a team of researchers analyzed data collected from more than 850,000 participants as the player learned a new skill playing an online game called Axon. In the game, player guide a neuron from one connection to the next by clicking on possible targets. The purpose is to test how well participants previous information and make decisions as well as how quickly they act. Okay, what the researchers were interested in was what kind of effect practice had on game performance. While some players practiced the same amount as others, they displayed much higher scoring than the rest. By analyzing the data, the researchers were able to see that this high scoring player had spaced out their playing seasons more, suggesting that they spent more time investigating how the game worked than the lower scoring player. These spaced out explanations early on paid off in better performance later as the player became more skilled. What is the research result? Practice accounted for 26% of the variance in games, 21 in music, and 18% for sports. But when it comes for educations, sports and professions, practice made far less of a difference, with just 4% of the variance attributed to practice in the domain of education, and less than 101% for professions. So, here is some quotes about practice. Uh, Sparky Anderson, who is a very famous American baseball player, he said, "Success isn't something that just happens. Success is learned. Success is practice, and then it's shared." Brian Tracy is a Canadian American motivation speaker, said, "Practice is the philosophy of continuous improvement. Get a little bit better every single day." And lastly, we have Vincent van Gogh, who is a famous Dutch painter. He said, "As practice make perfect, I cannot but make progress. Each drawing one make, each study one paint, is a step forward." If we are not practicing in our fields or sectors, we cannot master in it. We need continuous practice so we can learn anything we want in the world. Therefore, practice is the most important thing. Action performed with proper planning and regular practicing leads a person toward perfect performance. Practice is the best habit, and if we develop it from the childhood, with the help of our parents and teachers, we would never at the back end. So this is the end of my presentation, and I hope you all know what is the importance of practicing, and the practice make perfect, as we said. And this is the reference if you want to take a look of my presentations points. And thank you all.